And then microphone check. Cool. All right. Good evening, folks. Howdy. My name's Dave. I'm a wood turner. Welcome to the channel. Tonight we're going to turn some wood like we do every other night. Yeah. This is actually I think is going to be a pretty neat um, broadcast. I've got a nice piece of timber here that I've been I've had it sitting off to the side for quite a while. It's got a little bit of resin, so I don't know how much of the resin is going to show up in the final piece. When I did do this bit, looks like I poured resin in all of the deep cracks. I can see. Well, here, let's just turn this guy down. No, let's try it this way first. So I do want to before I start, and let me clean this off. That I have turned cherry burl, and I've turned cherry crotchwood. What I have here is cherry burl in crotchwood. I mean, it's both. It's awesome. We have to turn this. I got to turn this, man. So anyway, you can see all the burl stuff around here. Some of it's not exposed, but you can see all of it. When we turn it on its side, there is a ton in there, and got quite a bit going on down here on the other side. Those of you that are eagle eye will notice that this is going to be in spindle orientation for part of it anyway. At least this part of the grain that isn't all mushy, isn't all interwoven and intertangled like in the burl. So let's go through all the steps. Right, I got a piece of timber. First thing I want to do is I want to do some assessment. All right, so I see that I've got split going on here, cracking, some there. There's definitely some bark inclusion down in there, but doesn't look like it's very deep. I did hit this with resin. There's another couple of splits, but they don't look like they go very deep, and I'm intending on this to be, I think this might be a box, but it could be a bowl, could be a hollow form, I don't know, but this is going to be the bottom, so I suspect that, or at least I'm hoping, that most of that split will get turned away, and that's a result of this. If I can find it right there, that pith right there. Lots of figure, lots of burl. I don't see any like weird structural things that would keep me from putting it on the lathe. I do see some bark inclusion here. There might be some spalting. In fact, I did have to chip away some of the resin that was kind of pooled up on top so I could get my life center to seat properly into the timber. But all in all, this is this looks like it might turn out to be a pretty groovy piece of cherry. Like I say, I've turned cherry burl and I've turned cherry crotchwood, but never both at the same time. This is almost like the Holy Grail, right? I love turning crotchwood. This piece happened to have a burl in it, and I have a guest down here. I don't think you can see. Let me see if I can. Yeah, you can. Right down there. If I get out of the light. Actually, do I have a pointer stick here? Here's a pointer stick. That guy right there. That is a woolly bear. I found him in the or I found this woolly bear in the shop today. What we call woolly bears, caterpillar, crawling around. I'm kind of keeping an eye on him. He was on the other side of the lathe where it was a little colder. So I set him up over here. I don't know I understand they're herbivores, so I don't know if maybe he's finding any kind of nutrition in the shavings down here, but he's kind of hanging around in the shop today. I thought that was kind of wild, it being the middle of winter, so to speak. All right, so this, because let's swap camera view for a sec and bring this down just a tad. That's probably too much, but for this it'll work. So where the bark had taken off the bark, you can see that there's no continual line here, so that helped me decide that this was going to be the bottom. I could actually turn this. I don't know. It would be interesting. Actually, it might be really interesting if I turned it as a hollow form. I would have a void over here on this side, probably, maybe not. Maybe not. And then all of this, well, then that would all be turned away. It's all going to be turned away anyway. Let's see. That's pretty much the same height. It's just a little bit lower than this. So turning away this would turn this away, and that wouldn't really show up. So that's a bummer. All right. However, all of this figure would show up. So none of this outside feature would show up if this was the top and I was making this a hollow form. As a bowl, it's really not going to be there either, so either way it doesn't matter. But because this is already cut away, so to speak, I'm just going to make this the bottom. So let's get this guy mounted up here. So, oops, I did bonk the camera, did I not? Well, that was not the camera that was broadcasting the image. So that's not a bad thing. However, now I need to adjust it. So normally, I would start between centers on the balance point. I need this light. Since I turn this out of crotchwood burl to this shape and then let it dry, this is what I'm going with. I think I would lose too much. Well, maybe not. Let's see. Let's take it up to here. Oops, not that far back. There we go. You know, that's really close to the balance point already. I guess it's kind of heavier down there. Let's see what happens when we do this. Yep. Okay, so this is the original center hole. And that's too heavy. Let's see if I can get it right in the middle here. I think I got it. Oops. Well, it slipped out, but it looks like that's the balance point. Really close to begin with. So let's take that. Oops. Let me find it again. Because it's not. Oy vey. Okay. It's not taking, like, I mean, it's less than an eighth of an inch that I'm moving off of the original center, so. And if this is the balance point I'm looking for, which I don't think it is. Nope. It's got to be, I hope, that one. And that's, yeah, that's like maybe an eighth of an inch off the original center, so that's not bad. So I'm going to go with at the balance point. Not that it would be terribly off balance on the other one, but since that's a habit, I want to keep that habit where I can. So let's make sure. I mean, there are times I've got to, I turn something twice turned or whatever, and it's, or even green wood that is off balance for a little while anyway. There we go. That'll work. It's always nicer to be able to start off on the balance point, though, I think. Let's go for the larger guy. So what I'm going to do to start with is to basically give this piece of timber some form, and keep assessing as I go, as one does, and hopefully remove these splits. And where was that check? Oh, over there next to the split. So we'll see what happens. Okay, if I do that, I can do that. So everything passes. Okay. And starting. Well, not bad. I started off on the balance point, and I'm starting at a fairly high speed for what I would start off something that's between centers without. And then I really don't even need to be turning that fast. And that wasn't much. That was like 800 RPM. So I don't need to be going that fast. This is definitely seasoned wood, that's for sure. Something dropped what fell. I see you there, Mr. Woolly Booger. Looks like my spindle gouge. All right, so some bark inclusions are starting to show up here. Let me switch cameras up. That might help. Yeah, it does a little bit, I think. So these lines here, and let me tilt this camera up again a little bit. And this is pretty well seasoned stuff, so I'm going to grab a little extra skin protection here because I got some splintery wood shooting off here. I don't want it to cut me open. direction. There we go. So again, everything clears. See what we got here. I mean, I could make 2 huge voids in that bowl if I wanted to. Or hollow form. Yeah, but I'm not sure, but I think the tool takes a bale dive. This kind of stuff really, I don't know, maybe it mostly interests wood turners. I've had several pieces in galleries that they just sit. People don't, with a void in it or something like that, which I think is a really neat feature. And, it might attract some attention, but that's about it. So let's see. You know what? Let's take this down. Well, I really want to try to get rid of this stuff. But then I'll get rid of a lot of that burl wood too. Oh, that's the deal. Too high on the tool rest. There we go. I think I should see better quality cuts now. Well, the tool bites the dust. Or the shavings, anyway. It's enough off balance. It's getting a little bit of vibration to the lathe. So there's an exodus of tools on the other side.
Kingsley _0127.
Hey man, how's it going? How you doing, man? Another lovely, chilly winter evening. Turning in the garage,
Kingsley
man.
_0127 said, I'm doing pretty well. Kingsley _0127 said, how are you doing? Kingsley _0127 said, how's stream going?
Well, seems to be going okay. Picked up a couple new followers. Not something I'm ever going to get rich at, but it's not something I ever thought I was going to get rich at either.
Kingsley _0127 said, last day keep up the great momentum.
But I know I sure had a good time with it, except for the technical issues. Sometimes those are a bit of a pain. I had microphone issues last week. Oh, actually, you know what? I better double check. I should
Kingsley underscore 0127 said, all right,
keep
thumbs up,
up the great
Nate.
momentum. Cool. Thank you, man. I think I better double check and make sure I'm not echoing or reverbing really bad because that
Kingsley
was a
underscore
problem last week.
0127 said, what have you been up to lately?
Let's see. Turn off the mic. Well, that's probably too soon. Well, that's probably too soon. Okay, cool. Cool. shoot, I apologize. I did not realize I did not have the microphone on, so that's my bad. Oops. So I want to get rid of this. This is, I mean, it may wind up being a lidded box, perhaps, instead of just a bowl. It may just wind up being a box, but I gotta get rid of these cracks. The rest of this is fine, and I need to take these down a little
Kingsley
bit so that they are not.
127 said, your next stream is coming. TMRW right.
Tomorrow night, yes. Yes, it is. 8 to 11, man, Eastern Standard. And so that's what I'm working on, is getting this knocked down. So, but what I just thought of, though, is that I could make a rimmed bowl and not lose so much of this out here. So that, I think, is what I'm going to do. Okay, so those cracks actually disappear just under this rim. So that's an interesting shape. That is an interesting shape. Okay, still got splits here. Oh my goodness. At least get them down to where they're small enough that I'm not worried about it messing with the. Well, that one's gone. It's just this one now. There's just a very hair bit of it left. So, golly, man, it might go in another half an inch. That's a drag. But oh well, that's the way it goes, man. Like I said, I want the best piece I can get out of this. I don't want it to destroy itself. Boy, that goes a whole lot deeper than I thought. Goodness gracious. say this is like a crazy amount of timber to take off of this. I just kept hoping it would disappear sooner. Looks like I'm close. Just a hint of it left. At least I think so. Still just a bit, but I think I can work with this, but at least it's small enough that I don't feel it's going to be negatively affecting the structural integrity of the piece. Take another look. Yeah, it looks like it's pretty much gone now. There's a tiny little bit of this guy, but that had resin in the cracks, so that's okay. Alright, so this is what I got to work with now. Golly, that's such a bummer. All this colors. History. Okay. So what do I want to do here? I think I get to swap the tool rest first of all. That fell down on the other side, so let's go pick up all the stuff from the other side. Alright, don't think I'm going to need the skew or the spindle gouge, so we'll put those over here. Plus, now they can't bounce off the lathe. Alright.
Kingsley underscore 0127 said, man, let's chat after your stream on IG.
Alright. Okay, that just about takes care of that. Well, darn it. Let's see. I mean, I could make a lidded box with this rim on it. Let's see. If I do that, I want to kind of maybe have it look like a flower bulb, perhaps? Or am I thinking this wrong and maybe I should just, no. Let's see. I gotta get rid of some of this anyway. That looks like that'll be okay. Okay, so I got a bit of a split there. And that's the only one that I see. But it goes or went, and that goes kind of deep. Okay, I think that, well, it's getting to be pretty minor now. And I'm sure it's going to go all the way into that. Pith. But it's disappeared here. Just a little bit of it here on the very bottom. So I think I'm going to go with that. I think that'll be okay. So we got some really nice. Man, well, I mean, this is it's what happened. I mean, I want to have the best looking piece I can get out of this bit of timber. And it just so happens that it's half the size maybe that I thought it was going to be, and so be it. So I can get away kind of on a lot of this going back and forth because I'll have grain support going both ways since it is partially burl. Yep, time to change the tool. Stay out. Let's see. Let's get this guy. I don't like that grind. What the heck was I thinking there? That's going back to the grinder. There we go. All right. Or should I just go for the wide rim bowl? It is a pretty piece. Well, let's take a look at what happens when I work this side. And trim this up some. Clean all that up, yeah. Okay. So let's see here. Just gonna wind up turning all that away. Let's see how this guy looks. It's probably too high. A lot too high. So I want to get rid of some of that, but this spider webby stuff, I'd really like to keep as much of that as possible. So, looks like I got to take it down a little bit more though. Okay, I think that'll be okay. It's going to kind of show up on the upper part anyway, but I think that'll be all right. All right, let's do something else here with the rest of this thing. But what he says. Well, let's see if I could actually use part of this for a lid and shorten this down a little bit and make it a little box. Hey, there we go. Short of the box with the rim, kind of a domed, sort of. Or just a shallow wide rim bowl. Clean that up a little bit, but that's beetle marks. More beetle marks. All right, let's see. It's kind of tough, man, on this one. And it's probably because I'm clouding my mind with the fact that it's got burl wood, and I probably should let that go. So if I part it off here, that will give me enough for the lid on the inside of the bowl, which should be all right. And then I can use Cocobolo Bacote. I think I'll use Bacote. All right. There it is. The mystical magical parting tool. Put that tool away. So I think somewhere in here. Which means that I do actually need my spindle gouge. Where'd you go, buddy? There you are. I could use the 5/8 spindle gouge, I guess. I grabbed the 1/2 inch one. No pun intended, right, man? Not too bad, man. We're getting more weird weather this way. It's fairly warm today, I think. Tomorrow's going to be in the mid to upper 30s and then in the 40s on Wednesday. And of course, that means rain. Yay. Okay, so I need to create a place to hold on to this good. What in the world? Oh, because it's so dull. Well, I guess I'm grabbing this guy anyway. And let's just thumb around that off a bit. Oh, let's get rid of this. Hey now, I'm not supposed to do that. Alright, no harm, no foul. Okay, so I've got a place to hold it in the chuck here. Actually, what I want to do is make sure. Now I can take this guy down. I probably should stop putting these tools away, but the habit is real. Put them away. Get them out of the way so they don't fall off the lathe. Alright, I need to put... Let's put a freshen up this burr on this scraper here. Since I had to walk that direction. This is definitely well seasoned wood. I don't know. I think I also got this. Thank you, Paul Rogers from Indian River. On Indian River logging site. Okay, so I can hold it there. I can hold it there. Actually, I probably should take that down some more. Just so I'm not between sizes in the chuck jars, which is a pain in the ass. Okay, so now I can hold that one. Now I can hold that one. But I think what I want to do... What do I want to do? I'll have a hold in there. Okay, so I'm going to part this off. You know what? Which means... Darn the luck anyway. Will that reach? Yes. that I need to hold it from this side first so I can finish that bottom. All right, let's separate these guys. Yeah, I think that one will probably take. Not that I'm in a hurry. I'm not in a hurry. Let's just pull this guy. Come on. Start a new one. There we go. Probably need to loosen up the tailstock a little bit. Oh, this has got notches. Oh, it's time to replace the blade on this guy. Only the front half has usable cutting teeth. That's disappointing. All right. Still not separated enough. Oh, that's not going to help me anyway. There we go. I think that's it. And I will set this aside so I can change the blade in it later. Oh, still. There we go. Okay. Well, we'll have a little guy like that. All right, let's get this guy out of here. And do I need? I don't need this. Alright, let's move these guys around some. Here we go. This guy back. That guy back. You know what it looks like. Oh, nope. Thought I lost a chuck. To the other side too. No, that can't be right. Okay, good. Let me see. I got a lot of shavings in there. Oh my goodness, I'm still between sizes right there. Not there. Okay, how about this guy? Nope, he's good too. That won't do, Dave. There we go. That ought to do. All right. Work on this shape a tiny bit. Man, hear the walls creaking. It's pretty windy. I think that'll do nicely. So I'm scraping until I hear shushing sound like this. It's a very light touch, but I get a little bit of a ticking sound, and I've got an uneven surface. So just like that. And that'll really significantly reduce. Geez, I don't even think I need to sand that, but I'm going to anyway. Significantly reduce the sanding. And then I'm going to work on these beetle holes, clean them out. There's some nice holes right there. I think that's bark inclusion since it's right along the ring there. This is all burl wood, but insect damage in there. Still, all right. Now I can, let's see, I can do this. little bit high on my tool rest for that guy. There we go. So I just wanted to make sure that is actually the outside surface before I put any abrasive to it. I think I'm gonna adjust this curve a little bit. A little shear scrape in here. With shear scraping, you can go back and forth on the grain because of the oblique angle of the cutting edge to the timber. Let's see. And if I drop the rest in there, if I make this, okay. So I need to round this over. Looks pretty good. And I need to round the other side over. I'll do that when I. Oh no, I think I can do some of it now. So there's a difference. Let's see if I can get the microphone right up on this. So kind of a tick, 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 as opposed to that sound, meaning that it's a shush kind of sound. There's no tick, tick, tick. That means I've got an even surface. The depth, it's all the same. So that is a flat surface. And that's what I listen for. When I'm turning stuff like this, I want to hear that shush sound, meaning that there's no dips or high spots anywhere. I'm cutting wood all the way, and it never leaves the surface. The cutting edge never leaves the surface. Okay. What do we got here? Hey, just what I was looking for. Cherry shavings all over me, man. And today is definitely a good day to be wearing a mask, apparently. I'm kind of going back and forth across the grain here. But it's burl wood, so I kind of can. And I think working back and forth across the surface on burl wood gets you a better surface. See what we got here. That's not bad. I want to do something about this though. Let's see, where is that guy? Oh, no. Let's go with this guy. Oh, there we go. Still not really happy about that. Oh, hey now. We all don't need to jump out of the package at one time. One at a time is plenty, thank you. Well, I think that did it. Yeah, that did it. It's toast. This is one little area right here. Cool. Just a few spots where I've got to sand in the direction of the grain where there's actually unidirectional grain. And that was it, really. Okay. So that is the foot. I'm going to actually turn that into an expansion hold. Actually, let's see. Thinkity think. I take care of it now. I don't have to take care of it later. Okay. Sold. All right.
MAB_K14 said, "What are we making?"
Well, it is a lidded bowl or lidded box, depending on how you want to look at it. And I'm giving myself, you know what, I'm going to grab this smaller spindle gouge, make this part a little bit easier. Getting myself set up for an expansion hold in the chuck. That'll do. Make that flat. I actually can take something like that. which means really I should bring that out further.
Then open up your total 1-4 said, leg work is fun.
Lathe work is definitely fun. I think so anyway. Okay, so that should be fairly flat. Let me grab a something I can gauge that with. There we go. This here plastic card. So it's fairly flat. I could do a little bit of work here. What do I want to do it with though? Not any of these things. How about you, sir? Oh yeah. There we go. Use my skew as a negative rake scraper. Oh man, that looks awesome. Got a hold for the chuck. I want to chamfer that corner a bit. And that one. And thinkity think. I did sand this, right? Yes. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's looking all right. Groovy. Oh, there's some little beetle holes in the bottom too. Okay, so now I'm going to clean this stuff out. See what all this looks like once this stuff is out of here. I don't want to put any finish with this stuff in it, or with this dust in here, this bug poop, because it'll just turn it brown. The color of the finish will just be brown. Which, you know, having a mask is a lovely thing for stuff like this. I should have probably expected beetle damage, but I was not expecting to find insect damage in this stuff, but I often do. Cherry burls, maple burls too, but I think I found more insect damage in cherry burls than maple. But it does add to visually interesting features add to the piece. I don't know if they'll go all the way through. There's some bug dust. Clean out as much as I can. I think that's a hole too, yes. Okay, cruising. Nothing there. Nothing there. Okay, so mostly just around the burl part. Or maybe the phrase is primarily around the burl part. Kind of poking stuff now to see if it's loose enough and that it's bug dust or not. Or maybe it's one I didn't get good enough. There we go. Okay, I think that's almost. Oh, there's one. Any more in there? There's these little guys, but I'm not gonna worry about those so much. Oh, wow, there's a lot more in here I didn't see from the other angle. So these holes might actually go all the way through to the inside of the piece. See, that's cleaned out. That's not though. Actually, I might be able to. Well, there's no might to it. I would be able to fill them with resin if I chose. Yeah, that's pretty deep. So I may have to do that. Oh, I thought I got that cleaned out. So far, I haven't found any live grubs or anything, so they have long since vacated. Yeah, I'm thinking I may need to. I guess it doesn't really matter. I mean, littered box. pretty sure nobody was going to use it to hold liquids in the first place. Anything like that. But let's just see what we get when we turn the inside. I don't know, that won't really show up so much from a side view. Is that one? Nope. Okay, I think I got them all. At least on this surface. So these galleries are kind of deep. I don't know. I'll leave it for now, but I don't know if I'll need to make any adjustments, i.e. add resin or something like that to it later. Well, look at that. Okay. How are we doing on time? Oh, 9:45, not bad. I should blow off a couple of things here, that being one. Computer being another. That guy. Okay. So, what'd you do with it, Dave? There it is. Ah! Oh, I lost hold of it. And now, there it is. Slipped out of my fingers. So yeah, that'll be the right size for lid. Okay. Okay, I don't need the spindle gouge. This is too high. I just made Dave Rice stream say underwear. Yes, you did. Must be one of those terms that's not censored. Must be one of those that's not censored. Okay, so I want the rim. How do I want to do this? I think what I want to do is carry this bead around. That's about the right thickness there. Yeah. right. I think I probably want that to go a little bit deeper, but I get this on the top. That's pretty freaking amazing. Yeah, let's take it down a little bit more. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, I think that will do. That's going to look pretty cool with the lid on it, because some of that, yeah, that burl's going to line up. That's groovy. That's groovy. All right. I don't think that's anywhere near big enough. Nope. All right, let's move some stuff. There we go. Move that back. Don't you fall on the floor. You stay over here. You know, this alone would look really awesome. That alone would look really cool, I think. Okay. Let's see where I'm at here. Let's have some bark in there. Yep, sure enough. All right. Didn't think I'd be wearing the mask the whole time for this stream, but I really don't want to breathe in that bug dust, man. That's bad news. Okay. So now I'm gonna kind of sneak up on the sides. close or not. Nope. Now that is close. And I'll stick with that. I think I'm looking at, I can go a little bit more. I was looking at the wall thickness here, and that looks really great. So I'm not looking for a friction fit. Still got a little bit to go. So far, the only people that are impressed by friction fit is other wood turners and sewers. That is like the perfect fit right there. That's like dead on. If I can get it out, there we go. So let's line up this with this. Oh yeah, that's even a, like really, really nice shape for continuation through the whole piece. I'm digging that. All right, that's cool. So take this down just a bit more. Oh, I like it. I like it. I like it. Wow, that's gonna look really cool. All right, once I'm done turning it, there we go. All right, let's set that aside. No, don't fall down anywhere. You need to stay here. Okay, so that means I don't know if I need this guy or not. So that means oh, you are too low, my friend. That's why you are struggling. That should give me fairly even wall thickness, but I'm going to grab my other skew, a half-inch skew. And use it as a shear scraper here. There's my 2 beads. How does that look? All right, we'll go over this. Really lightly. Okay, that works for me. That's all really clean, except for that little bit right there, which I believe you know what, not even a monkey with that. Let's do it this way. There we go. That's more like it. Cool. All right. All right, what gives here? Okay. Let's get rid of that stuff. Okay, so it's the shadow of that going by now. This little white spot here was kind of throwing me off, and I think that's probably... No, it's not. It's just discolored cherry wood from, insect damage and all that. But as it was spinning around, it was looking like it was a rough spot that needed to be sanded, and then it wouldn't sand out. And And scraped it, and then it seemed to help it maybe a little bit, but not much. I'm like, what the heck is going on? Let's seeing that white discoloration of the wood spin around and ghost in there. All right. Oh my, that's a lot of dust. Good thing I got a mask on. Okay, so my lid. Just in there like that. It's a really nice shape for the lid with the continuation of that curve. And it's kind of like a 3/5, 2/5 looking at it this way. So I think that works out really well too. So we'll finish out the inside of this dude. Let's move some of this stuff out of the way. I think that can sit right there. Whoa, that's nothing to do. Let's drop that tool rest down a bit, huh? So this is sometimes where these cherry burl pieces fail. What the flip was that? Oh, speaking of which. Oh, okay. I have not killed the woolly booger. What the hell was I got distracted and then lost it. All right. Yep, I don't know what it was. Doggone it. Oh, now I got it. So this is where I usually see the most failures. I got this bark inclusion. It doesn't go all the way through, but sometimes cherry burls will have that in there. Well, maple burls too. It just fly apart. And then you've got, this couple of pieces on your shop floor. But fortunately, that does not go all the way through. That bark inclusion didn't make for a little bit of a rough ride. That's good thickness, but that's not. So I'll go with that one. So that's good all the way to right there. Okay, there we go. Now, blow that out a bit. I don't need this, guys. You can get put away. But I will take this guy. Let's see. Does that need... Yep, a little touch up on the burr there. Now let's see how that cut is. Oh, very clean. Very clean. All right. Nice wall thickness. Just very, very close to what this wall thickness is between the beads. All right. Yeah, I'm pleased with that. This is where I have the most fun, is where, I follow what the wood is dictating, and then whatever comes out of that is what comes out of that. Let's see. Okay, so there's a very light ring right there that is throwing me off when I spin this around, because it looks like at this angle that there's a high spot, but it's just a very light ring. But when it's spinning around, it just looks like something else. Anyway, some of the troubles I sometimes run into when I'm turning, like, is that in the grain, or is it a tool mark? Yes, I'm liking this very much. Okay, so this guy's done now. Other than the signature. That, I like that. Having all of that present itself. That's very, very cool. So that'll be neat when this is all in there. That's probably not going to work, Dave. You'll have to cut that off. Oh boy, what is this? That is my half-inch skew that I don't think I need anymore, but we'll leave it right there. Okay, so nice even wall thickness. Oh, yeah, there's more bug duty. So let's clean this up. And I suppose if you really wanted to, you could get like dental picks. These are just auto store picks. But they work for a while, and I just smacked the camera. Alright. But not the one that's broadcasting right now. Try to get all this dust out of here. Is that bug? No, that is not from a bug. Oh, so there's a little bit of white. Let's see if I can get it in the camera view. Right in here. And I thought it was beetle dust, but that's actually, it's dead now, but it was the very beginning of fungal attack to break down the wood, which is why this is discolored the way it is. That discoloration is from it's starting to become, fungus was starting to take it apart, break it down. Didn't get far enough to completely destroy it, thankfully, because I got to turn it. Man, some of this stuff is hard to see. It does go all the way through on some of these. So I like these little additions to the wood grain, I guess. I think it adds interest. It's very, very cool, and it shows that, this was a living organism. I think that is kind of cool to show that off. Human beings have a very, very long history with trees and woody plants, using them for cordage and shelter. And not that I was there or anything, because I certainly, at least I don't recall being there, but our ancestors, I understand, were in the trees to start with. So, long history with trees. And I think in today's world, with wood in general, with today's world, concrete, asphalt, and I'm sure, I know I'm not the only one to ever say this, because I was hearing it when I was younger too, and I really think it's true that our society is being trained to not value art. Instead, it's, work and cover everything over with asphalt and concrete. Don't go outside. The outside world is a scary world. It's a scary place, and you shouldn't be there. which, you know, for some of those millennials is fine, because that means I won't be surrounded by people in nature while I'm out in it, but I don't mind being surrounded by people in nature. Okay. Is that all of that? I think I'm trying to get, oh, there we go. Different light angles so I can see this stuff. Because in many cases it's the same color, or very, very close to the same color as the wood surrounding it where they bored through. Much like beer that does not have to change color on the way out. And yeah, that just looks really cool. Glad it turned out this way. That's neat. Okay, so those are all cleaned out. Some of these go all the way through. There's through holes here where the bark inclusion and stuff. This is looking really, really nice. We're gonna go for this guy now. Don't know that I can hold on to this without. Well, maybe. Maybe not. Maybe. Oh, yes, I can. That's awesome. I didn't think I'd be able to hold it with that tenon in there, but the jaws have to be open enough to get to this tenon that I'm attaching to, and it's wide enough that the tenon doesn't get caught up between the jaws where they come together. That's nice. All right, so I'm gonna say this guy is done. I could put it back on the lathe if I need to, here or here even. I can capture it right in there if I needed to do anything to the bottom, but I don't. These bark inclusions, I don't know. I'll think about that one. First thing is I want to I'm happy. What grade is that? 220. I'm happy with that curve where it is right now. So I don't want to change it. But you need to take this down just a shade. There we go. That's the fit I want. Okay. I had to take it down just a shade to get to that fit. Now I can hollow. Before I do that, let's do this. But yeah, this is my favorite way to turn, man, is just to throw a lump of timber up there. You know, I had a plan, right? Well, I didn't have a plan like anything concrete, just an idea, and I had to, you know, the wood was dictating what things needed to change about that idea, and I'm okay with that because I want to get the best possible piece out of the timber that I'm using that I possibly can. And if that means that I've got to waste away wood that I, you know, didn't think I was going to have to waste away, well then, you know, I'll do it. I really want these to last. It's probably not deep enough when I'm checking. Yeah, it's deep enough. Let's see. Let's see. What am I doing? Okay. I think right there would be a really good spot. Whoopsie daisy, let's not do that. There we go. Not quite big enough. That should do. So that's the sound right there. That's the sound I'm looking for. It's quiet. It's just the wood gliding across the cutting surface. And it's just that shushing sound. Okay. I actually need to take that deeper. Oh, yeah. Dude. Lovely. I'm digging that. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now I should be able to hold on to that. With very little trouble. Okay. Take my mask off for a minute. Oh, and I think I'm going to blow my nose too. So that means I'm going to shut the mic off for a sec. Alrighty. I wonder if I could make. Nah, it's already been done. Never mind, Dave. Let it go. Somebody beat you to it, man. Alright, shear scraping. Very, very fine shavings. You can see where the wood came over the edge at a very, very steep angle. It's no different than shear scraping with another tool. Very, very fine shavings. And look at that surface. You can see the figure in the surface. That's just awesome. I could clean that up a little bit, so I will. Yep, looks pretty good. All right, so this is my inside bottom is right there. So let's flip this guy around. Oh no! That could be trouble, mister. Oh, but maybe not. Hey, all right, it's not trouble. That's nice. I thought for sure I was going to have to do something different, that it wasn't going to go over the chuck there. All right. So now the question remains. Yeah, I think I will. I think I will use the coat for the handle. Okay. I have lost. I need to mark my line again. So that's it right there. Okay. Never mind, I don't need to mark it. I know where I need to get my tool. Okay. Now, decisions. I could make this the handle. Or I could use the coat. I guess it all depends when that hole goes away. No, we're going to go with the coat. Okay. Okay, I believe that's concave there. Yes. Easy there, killer. Yeah, I forgot something. Like a mask, maybe? Yep. So yeah, that mark right there, and that mark right there, they're not marks, it's bark inclusion and burl. Spinning around, looks like there's something needs to be sanded right there. And I did not need to spend that time. Let's see if I got that. Not yet. Doggone it. Just got one little spot here. I'm guessing the grain changes direction. Dang it. Alright, let's... One more time. Groovy. There we go. Alright, so I need to drill a hole here. Let me, before I do that. Oh, I got plenty of room. So, let's see, that's got to get tossed out. That's got to get tossed out. Come on, move. Alright, so we're coming up on time of 10 to 11. So I'm going to drill this hole, and I will turn the finial to it tomorrow. And I'll start a different project with a piece of quilted big leaf maple and quilted maple with bark inclusions. And it's not the big leaf maple, but still, having them together should look really groovy. There's another lidded box, and I've got mesquite that I'm going to use for the handle for that one. So just make a bit of a conical shape so the drill bit will follow that. Alley-oop. And for this part, I don't need the mask. Yay. So that means also I can shut that off. Woo! Outside of where this diesel heater is blowing, it's chilly. Oh, not as chilly as it has been, though. We got a couple of warm days happening here. I think Thursday is supposed to, well, it's going to be in the 30s on, or 40s on Thursday. And then rain. You like apples? How about them apples? Okay. Nothing to clean up as far as bug dirt here on this side. So this is all set to go. I can just drill that guy. And I think, yeah, we'll go with this. Quarter inch. Well, you're not supposed to do that. There. Okay. Wonder what this. Yeah, not the greatest angle, but that's all right. Let's see, I think that'll be deep enough. Let's see here. You know, I can go a little deeper. I'll go a little deeper. Now let's see what we got. Half an inch? No, 3/8 of an inch. That's plenty. That's awesome. I'll take it. So this 1/4 inch goes right there. And now it's ready for a finial. What do I do with it? There it is. Yep, that's great. I think we can get one from that side. Let's see. There's that. There's that burl. Let's do this. So as I said, I'm not looking for a friction fit. I want this to be easy on and off. There's a little bit of a gap there, but it's not much. It's not bad. And that is plenty deep enough to secure the lid in place. So once the finish goes on there, these 2 beads I think will really pop. I think that this design and with the handle in there, I don't know, we'll play around with it some more maybe, but I don't know. I think this is gonna look really cool, and it has finish on it. So let me do that too. I should sign this. So we're close to the end of the broadcast. So if there's any questions or comments, I mean, during any time, the chat is open for questions and comments. But if you have anything that you haven't mentioned before now and you'd like to, please do. Let me put a signature on this guy, or what passes for one.
Yeah. So beautiful.
Burrow wood is pretty hard. Cool beans. So other than putting finish on this guy, making a finial handle and putting finish on it, that's pretty much done. I think, as I said before, this is one of my favorite ways to turn. Is just throw something up there. I had an idea. I had a chunk of wood, chunk of timber, had an idea. I didn't quite pan out, but I was able to roll with it and come up with this. Let's kill that dude. Bring this guy up. So I know the camera's not really doing it any justice. And it's going to be a little harder to see the grain because the finish has not been applied yet. Yeah, it's just washing out. But anyway, see the grain on that. I'll finish this guy tomorrow evening. And I think probably even buff it. And then we'll throw some finish on it and watch that finish pop. I'm not sure about buff. I'm thinking about it though. I think I might buff it. But as it sits right now, that's a very nice. Look at the profile. Let me see if I can get it edge onto the camera. You see that lid matches the curve down here. So that's important when you're looking at aesthetics for a piece. You can see that. Let's see if I get it really down low. Way up. There we go. So you can see that the lid itself, if you follow that curve down, it blends right into here. And that's other considerations that I look for in a piece. I want it to look like it belongs together, right? It's not something thrown together and looks strange and you have different curves and odd angles and stuff like that. Not that that's a bad thing. It's just not what I want for this piece. And usually when I'm doing boxes like this or things with wings, rims, whatever you want to call these, I'm always trying to make sure that those lines, maybe that's a better, that those lines right there, those curves match. Way up here, that goes right into here. So that's lots of considerations when you're working on a piece. There's lots of, oh, I've got the wrong dog on camera here. There we go. So there are a lot of little pieces of the puzzle, lots of considerations when you're working with timber and what presents itself as you turn the timber. I really do like to say it's like Christmas because, I mean, you don't know until you get in there what's inside the wood. You just don't know. I wonder if this will show up. I don't know if this shows up. You can see this curl in here, this curl over here. There's some curl right in here. It's really going to pop once it gets finish on it. That's pretty wild. All right. So I see there, and TC Schmo says, beautiful. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And I want to say thank you again, folks, for joining me this evening. Woodturning with Dave. I really enjoy spending the time here, and it's more practice for me, practice being the secret sauce, right? Because the only way you're going to get better is to get good, proper instruction, practice those things, you learn, work with your own body mechanics and fine tune what you learn to fit you. These all things all take time. You have to allow yourself that time and allow yourself to make those mistakes, because you're going to make mistakes until you get your form right, until you learn how to properly use the tools. I mean, lots of stuff here, lots and lots of stuff. So it takes time to get all those pieces and parts in place when you're turning for, specifically like this. I was going to turn something else, but this is what came out of that piece because of the, I don't want to say defects, because they weren't defects in the wood, although they would have become defects later on in the timber's life if I had allowed those cracks and splits to stay in the wood. I got rid of those. Now there's a few right here. Oh man, I don't know if that probably gets washed out. So let me point them out. There's one right here, and then one right here, and they're little splits, but they don't show up on the inside at all. It's just on the surface. And I find that also a lot in burls too. But also these little splits have a lot of little fibers that are interlocking across that crack, so that this piece is going to hold together really, really well. So again, it's not those cracks that have all those interlocking fibers. Even if they're split, all those interlocking fibers are still holding on to each other. So those kinds of splits, like you find, say, right here, right there, that I would leave on the piece because I don't feel like it is structurally weak or weaker than the rest, because the fibers are still holding on to each other. One of the other splits that you don't see those fibers going across, it's a crack, or check, whatever. Those I want to get rid of because they're only going to get worse. With the checks and splits that have the fibers, especially in burls that have the fibers that are all interlocked in there, they won't really change much over time. Because those fibers are just, they're holding on to each other. They're not tearing apart. They're kind of sort of tearing apart, but they're not tearing apart enough to separate. And that's why I leave those on there. So, okay, for those of you out there who might have made it in late to the broadcast, howdy, my name is Dave. I'm a woodturner. I started turning as therapy for PTSD. Found out that I had a knack for it, and I fell in love with it. But then I started teaching it and fell in love with that too. So I started this channel to become a better teacher, a better demonstrator, and a better turner, because the more that I share what I have learned with other folks, the more it gets cemented into my head. But it's also practice time. Practice, practice, practice. Practice is the secret sauce. That's all there is to it. All right, so I hope you all stay friendly. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for your support. Thanks for hanging out in the background. Whatever it was, you were here and you were with me and you were watching, and I appreciate it. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, and I hope to see you tomorrow night, 8 to 11 Eastern Standard Time, right here on Twitch, Woodturning Wednesday. Thanks again, folks, and good night.